And welcome, everybody. It is the Joel Comm Show, and I'll let you guess which one of the two people on screen is Joel Comm. Well, it might be actually confusing today because there's a little bit of a mix-up happening on Snapchat. My guest today is none other than the John Lee Dumas, host of the very successful Entrepreneur on Fire podcast and creator of the incredibly successful Freedom Journal, which just got done with an incredible run on Kickstarter. There it is right there for those of you that are viewing this episode. Those of you that are catching the audio podcast, then you're going to miss out on all the visuals. And it's going to be a highly visual day today because look at Johnny Lee Dumas. He's just such a fun guy. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, not too much. Now that I'm talking for a second, I'm going to go ahead and press go on my Snap right here. And I'm going to just make sure that I let everybody know that's hearing me on Snapchat that we are live at comm.us/fire. So come join us, Joel Comm Snappers.
What? Yeah, so I just made a cameo on my own. So what's okay, go ahead, maybe put whatever little accoutrements you want on there.
Everybody know that's hearing me on Snapchat that we are live at comm.us/fire. So come join us, Joel Comm. Boom.
Like that.
You're live, buddy.
Yeah, so let me show you guys what's going on here today. Let me pull up this graphic. Where is it? Ah, dang it! I put it in the wrong window. I hate when I do that.
Oh, are you able to share screens? I mean, share your screen on Blab?
So actually what I'm doing is, so I've got ManyCam right here. There's my snap code, but what I really want to load in there is the image here that tells people, let's see, there it is. Okay. So it is Snap Swap Day. Snap Swap. And what's happened is a couple of fellas have decided to change out their Snapchat today. And those fellas would be myself and John Lee Dumas. It's an interesting experiment, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And what I've really been enjoying about this is getting Snap messages from your followers. And something we didn't actually talk about, I just assumed. I like to always ask for forgiveness, not for permission. Sure. But was that I was going to be able to respond back to the personal Snap messages that have been coming through. And I will say that I've gotten some really cool messages from your followers, Joel. And I also know that you've really been growing your Snapchat following base. So I'm sure you get a lot of people following you during the course of a day. But I'll tell you, your followers have been off the roof today. Like I have been just fire fingers adding people. That's been. I have to assume there's been a lot of benefit from this swap because you have a ton of new followers.
Are you counting them as you're adding them?
Yes.
Okay.
113 so far.
Okay, good. So give me a total number later. I haven't been adding yours, but if you want me to, I will.
Yeah, go ahead and add them for sure.
I also, remember I told you that the limit on Snapchat was 2,500 followers?
Yeah, you told me that.
It's wrong because I was more than that before you took over my account, and you're still.
I think it has to be because I was just like, when am I going to hit my limit? Because I have been following like a couple hundred people a day back, and I haven't even. And so I'm way over 2,500 right now. So yeah, that's not right.
I'm doing a quick glance here to see how many you've added.
Yeah, and I will say like I haven't been even added anybody for you for like the past 5 hours because I had webinar and then back-to-back interviews. So you might have up to 1,000 new followers so far, Ty.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick snap here. Hey guys, I am on Blab right now, live with somebody. Check this out. Let me save that, and then I'm gonna flip it. And then you could say hi to Fire Nation here. This will be fun. It's like a cameo appearance. And
hey, Fire Nation.
Wait. That was your cue. Hang on. We'll do it again.
Hey, Fire Nation. JLD here. Do you miss me? Because I miss you. Joel is taking care of you. I have no doubt. But I'll be back tomorrow in New York City with a rant.
Oh, I think you nailed the 10 seconds.
Dude, I got like this mental 10-second in my head now because I do so many Snap rants. Like I don't do that many retakes anymore. Like I just nail that 10 seconds. It's like this timer in my mind. I don't even have to look at the thing filling up. I just know now. And like I've noticed I've started talking in like 10-second increments in case like, why do you keep stopping in the middle of a sentence and then starting again? I'm like, oh my God, Snapchat is taking over my life. It's changing everything.
I know, right? I know. We're going to open up the seat here shortly. I want to talk to Johnny Lee for a little bit about Snapchat and about the swap today. And then I want you guys to come on in and ask questions. This is not going to be the typical interview where I'm going to ask you what you do. You know, this is all about, let's talk about what's happening right now. And right now it's all about Snapchat. And it was about a month ago, was it that we first?
Yeah, 3 weeks really? At most a month. I mean, I think more like 3 weeks ago. It was
traffic and conversion in San Diego. I'm looking
mid-February. Yeah, mid-Feb. So like 3 weeks.
And you were still new to it. Hadn't really done much.
Getting like 30 to 50 views per story. Didn't really know what I was doing.
Right. And then you and I sat down and I kind of did a walkthrough for you. And by the way, those of you that would like to see the tutorial, it is at livevideorevolution.com/fire. I just put it in there. When you go there, you will see a 20-minute video of me showing JLD the basics of Snapchat. We had a lot of fun.
That was so much fun. And let me just say that I learned more during that like 10-minute sit down than I had in like the 10 days prior of getting exposed. And so much so that we actually ended up having you on EO Fire for a full episode dedicated to Snapchat, which did wonders for my Snapchat, and I hope it helped you out a little bit, Joe.
It did, and it was my second EO Fire appearance, which was kind of cool. 12 times igniting. Well, wait till you see how I'm messed around with yours so far today.
I can't wait. I'm gonna, as soon as this is over, I'm on. I had a Paradise webinar today. Then I was back-to-back interviews. I interviewed Michael Hyatt, which was killer for his new book, Living Forward. And then I've just been crushing interviews for the Freedom Journal. The work doesn't stop, my friends. Every day I'm hustling.
And you're moving. You announced it publicly.
I did.
You're leaving on a jet plane.
It's funny how we both did that, like we planned it or something, but we didn't.
There was no plan.
It's like I love when little kids are in cars and the window's down and they put their hand out the window and they just go like this. And it's like, why is that just so natural?
And if you're a dog, you just do this. You know, the breeze is hitting them in the face.
So true.
So,
guys, by the way, I'm loving your raise the roofs. What are these called? Shout outs, pounds.
Yeah, they're actually so here they're
props.
They're called props. Right, they're props here.
So keep giving me the props. I want to get to 1,000. I want to get to 1,000. But yeah, Joel, go ahead and make my moving announcement official.
JLD and Kate are moving to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
It's a permanent move. It is 100% full-time permanent move. We will be on the islands of Puerto Rico for at least 6 months of the year. We're going to be traveling the other 6 months off and on to, Europe and wherever and back to the mainland, etc. But we're going to be official Puerto Ricans in less than 2 months.
Very cool. And I don't know how much you want to say about it, but it's my understanding that there might be some unique exclusive events.
Yeah, we just did a whole income report on it, actually. Not like dedicated to the move to Puerto Rico. We're going to be doing that next month. But long story short, if you're like officially, in a position where you can and want to move to Puerto Rico, there are some pretty cool opportunities because we're moving there. We're moving our business there. It's a U.S. Commonwealth, by the way. You don't even need a passport. You just need your license to get there because it's basically a state. But because it's not a state, they can't vote in the American elections. And you guys know America, no taxation without representation, brother. So This is the only place in the world that you can live in as a U.S. citizen and not pay federal tax. You can't, if you live in Italy, in China, and Japan, you are paying U.S. federal tax if you want to maintain your U.S. citizenship. Puerto Rico, you pay a flat 4% corporate tax rate if you're a Puerto Rico citizen, which means you're living there 6 months of the year, which I will be doing. I'm not trying to skirt anything. I'm doing it legit.
Yeah, of course you are, and that's going to open up all kinds of opportunities. And I'm not going to, you're not backing you any kind of corner or anything. But you and I talked about there might be like a Snap Fest happening in Puerto Rico sometime this year.
I would love that, and I loved what Cindy said. I'm moving there if Trump becomes prez. It's still a U.S. Commonwealth, so you'll still be officially in the U.S. if you're in Puerto Rico.
Anything, regardless of who's president. So let's keep off the politics anyway. So talk a little bit about what you are loving so much about Snapchat.
Okay, there's a reason I believe why EO Fire, my podcast, has had such success. I mean, it's a top-ranked business podcast. We have over 27 million listens to date. We average about 1.25 million listens per month currently, and we're growing, by the way, every single month. So that number is always going up. And the podcast itself generates a ton of revenue, and we publish our income reports every month. So if anybody wants to check them out, like we show you our expenses, our failures, our successes, we show it all. So it's a very successful and viable business, the podcast itself. And the reason why I think it's successful is because I tell stories on the podcast. I have Joel come on and tell his worst entrepreneurial moments, his aha moments, and they are all 100% unique. Nobody has the same story, the same unique story of what was their worst moment, their aha moment. So getting back to your question, Joel, why do I love Snapchat? It is the only social media platform where I can actually tell my story on a real, intimate, legitimate basis via social media. You can't do that on Instagram. You can't do it on Facebook, on Twitter, nothing. It is just everything on those social media platforms is basically people throwing up just content on a consistent basis. On Snapchat, you follow people that you want to follow. And then when that light bulb goes off during the day and you're like, what's Joel been up to today? You go and you type in Joel and boom, he pops up and you choose to watch his story, to the content that he's providing that day. And you can watch that 24-hour moving bubble of his life going forward. So it's always relevant. If it's somebody like Joel, it's always valuable and interesting and entertaining. And you can choose to consume that content. So it is like the massive opportunity that's out there in this world. And you can tell I just get more passionate the more I talk about it. But I get people that ask me all the time for me to mentor them one-on-one. Honestly, like I made $4.6 million last year. Like I can understand why, but I don't mentor people one-on-one anymore because I don't have the time or bandwidth. It's not because I don't want to, I just can't. But Snapchat is me mentoring one-on-one. Like if I was mentoring you one-on-one, this is what I would be doing with you. What I give on Snapchat is not one-on-one, it's one-to-many, but it's exactly what I would be doing if I had you on an individual call. That's the training I provide via Snapchat, and it allows me to do that in a powerful manner. So find those people who are currently where you want to be in life, follow them on Snapchat. And if they're good, guess what? They'll be dropping value bombs every single day, and you'll be getting that one-on-one mentorship every single day. And if they don't do that, if they just take pictures of their cat, then unfollow them and find somebody that you do admire and respect that is dropping those value bombs every single day.
No
like Joel. No cats.
Dogs
so that's my
only.
little snap rant right there.
The snap rant, a JLD snap rant. So and what's really interesting about Snapchat is it gives you the opportunity to use it however you want. How you use it and how I use it are so different. And yet they're both perfect because they're perfectly us. They are uniquely who we are. And I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, you are.
A silly application. And you'll see when you check out what I did with you today. Hopefully you won't seize it back too quickly. Hey, I'm going to open up the seat here because I know there's a lot of people that want to talk to John Lee and that want to talk Snapchat. I see some fellow Snappies here in the room with us. So if you guys have questions, you just want to talk, a real brief one here from Michael wants to know what city in Puerto Rico you are moving to.
The city is called Quebradillas, which is in the northwestern side of Puerto Rico, kind of near Aguadilla, which is, again, the northwestern side of Puerto Rico. Anybody that knows where San Juan is, that's in the northeastern side. So this is on the opposite side, but on the Atlantic Ocean. And Quebradillas means city of many little streams.
Oh, so there's a whole lot of little streams there.
We can go fishing when you visit, Joel.
Awesome. What if I don't like fishing?
I don't like fishing.
I'm not a fisher. So Mike's got a question that is specific to the topic of Snapchat, and he wants to know how you grow followers. So what kind of advice can you give for that?
So go back and watch episode 186 of the Gary Vaynerchuk show, because on that episode, I give a video call-in question, and I say, hey, Gary, John Lee Dumas here, and guess what? You've gotten this question before, but I've never loved your answer. So I'm asking you again. I'm calling you out, brother. How do you get organic followers on Snapchat? What's the best way to get it? And he kind of breaks it down in a good way. And basically his answer is going to be my answer, which is that's the beauty of Snapchat. It is super hard to get followers. You got to hustle. You got to go guerrilla marketing. You got to do stuff like Joel and I are doing right now, where we're swapping for a day. So we have swap Snapchats. So his audience is getting exposed to me. And if they like me, they can follow me. If they hate me, they don't have to. That's their thing. And it's only 24 hours of JLD. Then it's off. You got to get guerrilla. I'm doing Facebook ads right now, driving people to my Snapchat. I have it in my sidebar of my website. I have it as a feature box on my website. I have it in the signature of my email newsletter. I have tweets that are going out that are saying, follow me on Snapchat. Yo, I created a very cool eofire.com/snap. If you click on that link, it's going to take you directly to where you can download Snapchat if you don't have it already. Or if you do, it's going to take you right to where you can click follow JLD right there. So you got to get guerrilla. You got to use your existing audience. And I talk about it on my podcast when I can. That's another medium that I use. I'm going to create some unique intros that just say, follow me on Snapchat. So those are some ways. I think you probably have some good ideas, Joel.
Every day he's hustling. Yeah, no, you said so much right there. So many of the same things that I'm doing, I mean, it's like doing shows like this and having, banners to go ahead and promote that I'm here, being able to put up when I'm on Blab, for example, something that looks like, wait for it. I'm getting it. It's getting there. It looks like, why is it pulling up there though? I gotta fix this. So anyway, there's QR codes, right? That in to see, and using your QR code makes it easy for people to join. So Blake Croft is with us, and Blake is a big-time Snapchat fan. What's up, dude?
How's it going, John? How's it going, Joel? Great to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, brother.
Awesome. John, I mentioned this in the comments, and I wanted to ask you this just to kind of get a little more elaboration on it. You said, if someone's like just a bunch of cats or whatever, don't, you can unfollow them or whatever. And you said, about value. And I would question, is Snapchat really all about value?
No, it is not all about value at all. And that's actually where I love Snapchat. And this is where I consistently do every single day. And I actually kind of proportion off the different segments of my Snap Day where I say, hey guys, about to go into a JLD rant right now. And I'll do the little JLD rant at the bottom. And then I'll just start dropping what I consider value bombs on business, on life, on health, on fitness, etc. Whatever that might be for the day, whatever is going on in my mind. And then I'll say, hey, the JLD rant is over. Hope you enjoyed it. Now let's have some fun. And then we'll have some fun. And that's what I love about Snapchat is it's easy to have fun because they have those video overlays that change every day. And I can kind of craft whatever story I want to kind of go on with whatever I want to do for fun. So I'll actually look through all of the different video overlays, and then I'll decide, hey, this is what I want to have a joke about or have some fun with because of that reason, etc. So I think you definitely want to be giving value for sure on your Snapchat if you think people are following you for that value. But then you also want to give your personality, your own self. And one big thing I do want to say right now, I don't know how you think about this, Joel, but I would like to get your feedback on this. I've been pretty militant about this. If you're following somebody or if you're a Snapchatter, this is a big don't, in my opinion. And I'll tell you what I do when people do this. Don't send out a personal Snapchat to like your whole list that's not personalized. So when I go through my personal snaps and I get someone that just says like, like, hey, everybody, this is what's going on in my day today. Like, I don't even give that person a second chance. They are immediately blocked. And I've had people come back and be like, hey, John, I think I've been blocked because I can't follow your snaps anymore. And I'm like, well, you were blocked because you sent me a non-personal personal Snapchat. And those are, in my opinion, and again, I'm not that experienced with Snapchat, but those are only for personal messages. So when people snap me personal messages, I respond back to them directly, and I thank them for that personal message. But people that send blast messages out to the personal snaps, they're banned, even if they might have made it. They might have done it as a mistake because they don't know any better. What are your thoughts, Joel?
That's harsh.
Yeah, banned. I'm talking blocked. First time block.
First time block. Mm-hmm. I would. My approach would be, so it happens to me and I usually just delete them. But if I see repeat offender, then I'll say, hey, I'll snap them with the video so they could see my face. And I'll say, it's probably best to just use private snaps for private messages, because what you're sending me is what your Snapchat public feed is for. Right. This is where we share that the temperature in Minneapolis is 53 degrees, and there are my chickens, laying eggs. So it's pretty harsh, I think, to come down that. But you know what? Do it your way. It's your social, and do your thing. I want to make one other comment about value. Value, it comes through a lot of different channels. Right. For some people, value is teaching. It's instruction. For others, value is inspiration. For others, value is humor. We consume every day based on the value we're wanting. We turn on the TV and watch a sitcom because we want the value that gives us. So I think that it's all, as long as we're creating content, it's all value. I hear birds too. It's like, hey, Grant, how you doing?
Good. I'm good.
Good. What's on your mind today, my friend?
Just interested about what you guys are talking about. Snapchat.
Okay. Did you have a question or something you wanted to say?
So like you said, you blocked them the first block, right? Do you forgive the people that you blocked? No?
So people will come back and they say, hey, John, like I think you blocked me because I can't follow you anymore, XYZ. Then I actually will come back and say, hey, listen, I blocked you because you sent a non-personal snap message to me. So just so you know, that's my policy. I'm going to unblock you now, but that's just how I roll. Like then I'll take the time to explain it. Quick side note, Joel, if you ever want to, there's right at the bottom left of Grant's screen is a little volume button. So if the birds are annoying you, you can just click the volume button. That'll mute him until you're ready to let his volume ring. But
I think that is just the mute for me.
Right.
I think that, yeah.
It is just the mute for you. But again, you were complaining about the birds. So
we actually, one of the tools we want here, I think, on Blab is more host control so that we can actually mute site-wide for everybody. Hey, Grant, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Good question. And Aaron's asking a question from the sideline, socially powered. What happens if you make a mistake? Do you forgive John Lee? Oh, she's coming in here. I'll let her actually ask yourself. Hey, Blake, I know you're in the car and all and probably on your way to work.
John, I really do appreciate you answering my question real quick. I just wanted to ask that real quick because I know that kind of what Joel said, value is different for so many people. And some people on Snapchat, they just love to see that day in a life type feel. And I've heard even mentioned before that Snapchat can seem a little video bloggy like. And some people snap that way. So, I just wanted to hear your opinion on that. So thank you very much. I'm going to hop out.
You're welcome, brother. Take care.
Blake.
Thanks.
Hey, JL.
What's going on socially powered, Aaron?
Not much. How are you guys?
Say hi to JLD.
Hi, JLD.
Aaron, how you doing? I think I love the Hootsuite owl behind you.
It's not a Hootsuite owl.
Everybody thinks it is, though.
It's my owl.
It is. Aaron is a social media maven in her own right and runs her own agency here in the Denver area.
That's killer. Oh, killer. Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah.
So good. You guys need to know each other anyhow. So there you go.
It makes it seem less Hootsuite if it's the wink side.
Okay, I'll keep it on the wink side then.
There you go.
So I actually made a mistake on Snapchat yesterday. I was trying to respond to somebody with, I had posted about some new fun toys I got. Well, I got this new microphone.
Is that the ATR 2100?
I don't know.
It is. That's why your audio
Ask
sounds so
Joel.
great.
What is it, Joel?
That's the ATR 2100. She needed a recommendation for a mic, and for a $50 mic, it's really incredible.
It's literally the best. It's my number one recommendation when you combine cost and quality blabbers. Quick side note, though, when you're using the Blue Yeti, this is a condenser microphone, meaning it will pick up everything around the room. So my audio quality is not awesome, but it allows me to kick back and relax and not be like all up in my grill. Because this is a condenser. Yours, Aaron, is a dynamic. So you're losing 60% of its effectiveness every 4 inches away from it you are. So I think you need to get a new stand that gets that up in your you want it about
up in the grill.
I mean, so your audio just went from like a 5 to like a 9 when you did that.
All right.
But it's fine for now. It's fine for now. I'm just saying, like, when you record, like, this is for this kind of setup, like, you're not going for great audio. Like, you want to have good audio, but for a podcast, like, this is why when I'm podcasting, I'm using this and I'm up in my grill.
Okay.
I just put a link down there.
You had one, actually.
There's some of you that are asking about the mic. It's there's a link in the chat room, comm.us/mic will take you there. And by the way, I've experimented. Here's the Yeti. Here's the ATR 2100. And now I am using this delicious Heil PR40.
Delish.
And that's what Johnny Lee's got going there too.
Except I see you have no pop filter. Naughty.
Well, am I popping? I'm a pro broadcaster, so
yeah, you're really not popping. So I can't really say negatively about that, but I'd still get the pop filter if I were you.
If you're going to point to something that I'm missing, it's that I have not yet designed a logo. I've had this for like 3 months, and I have not yet placed it on my mic so that people can see my show. Anyway,
don't you love this? We just crossed 50. Like, we have 50 people hanging out with us right now. That's pretty awesome. I love all of you guys. And you, Aaron, too.
So much. So we just want to hug you all.
Aaron, are you in Denver?
I am, yes.
Do you hang out with Greg Hickman?
I know Greg.
He's my best friend. You need to hang out with him more.
Okay.
I'm going to see Greg tomorrow night. We're doing a social media shenanigans light meetup for our Denver tribe tomorrow, and Greg will be there. So
we had talked. You weren't supposed to mention that with Aaron on because she's not invited.
Dang it! Sorry,
awkward.
Aaron.
Yeah. No, actually, I have another event I have to.
I'm sure you have plans, Aaron. That's what they all say. Yeah, I have big plans tomorrow.
Yeah. So anyway, I screwed up yesterday.
Oh, so that was the story.
Yeah,
we got distracted from.
I went to snap somebody back because they wanted to know what light I bought, and somehow I snapped back Brian Kramer instead of. So I apologized. So.
Well, at least he didn't block you and kick you to the curb like John Lee Dumas would.
Man, I'm not going to make that mistake with you, JLD.
Right? You heard. So I got some feedback for you, Aaron, and I love feedback too. I'm a big believer that when on video, you want your head in the upper 66 to 75%.
Oh, okay.
Boom. You just went from like a 729 on the video.
We just had that conversation.
Did you? I didn't know that. See? Good to hear.
It's weird because you can't see, like, I don't know. Then I feel like my head is in my name.
I'll tell you, for the viewers' perspective, it's a much better experience. And I'd love to see feedback in the chat right now. Let us know, guys. Do you like Erin where her head's at right now or where it was prior? Just let's get some honest feedback on that. What's up, Joel?
Position A, which is go ahead and duck down a little bit.
No, we're good. A.
Position B. Now, clearly now. Yeah, and actually she did a Periscope that I joined yesterday, and I made that same comment to her is
4-0.
More of the space.
Perfect. Good to know. Thanks, everybody, for your feedback.
Excellent. Hey, Leland's trying to come in, but there's an issue loading up your stuff. So once you've got that figured out, happy to welcome you in. And if somebody else wants to join us, we've got drop-ins now.
Yep.
We have drop-ins, and so I feel like I should drop something in here just because we can. Yeah, hang on just a second. I'm going to find it. And okay, here we go. Drop-ins coming at you. Oh, where did John go? Johnny, come back. Here we go.
I tried to draw something in and I broke it. Whoa. Wow, that is really smooth.
There you go. I like turtles. So that's all you need to know. Yeah, so the issue with the drop-ins right now, they are not recording the drop-ins. So that's still something that's going to happen. Dueling Designs, you have a question, and that was, do all hosts have drop-ins or just special ones like you? The answer is just special ones like, no, actually, that's not the answer at all. The answer is that they're not rolled out publicly for everybody yet, but if you will just tag @help or blabstud or techstud, then Brittany, who's here in the room, will just show up and turn them on for you like she just did right here.
Aaron, I just followed you on Blab.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I followed you too. I don't know how I wasn't following you before.
Shocking. Let's start dropping some value bombs, Joel.
My friend, I want to keep it on Snapchat because this is Snap Frenzy. And
value bombs via Snapchat, ready to go.
Some of the things that you know, do you save your stories every day?
Yeah. So I'm really starting to get the system down where I download my story at the end of every night. And I'm going to have a system where I just pop it up into a Dropbox where my VA is going to then take it, put it into YouTube, put in a killer intro, killer outro, and then have some good annotations throughout as well. Carlos Gill does this really well, who I know, Joel, and I think he's doing that really well. So I think that's a good part to kind of keep the flow alive. And then again, of course, to repurpose your content. I mean, the beauty about Snapchat is it's a 24-hour moving bubble, so it keeps people urgent and relevant, etc. But when you're producing great content, like I'm sure the three of us are on a daily basis, then there's no reason not to repurpose that in a powerful way.
Let's and repurposing is an interesting thing. I'm saving my stories every day, but I'm still figuring this out, right? I've been at this, I think I'm in month 4 now. I'm still figuring it out. And like Cliff Ravenscraft is doing his landscape like this because he wants to repurpose them and put them on YouTube so that they don't die after 24 hours. We talked about this, and I save mine every day. And I don't put them up on YouTube because I want people to follow me on Snapchat. Otherwise, if I can just go watch your whole story, then why do I need to watch on Snapchat? Well, it removes the interaction aspect where you can snap me back, right, for a particular snap. And I think it discourages following people there. Well, I don't know. What do you think, John?
So, I think that that's a little bit of a scarcity mindset, to be honest, because I'm really of that mindset of just like, hey, like I know that I'm creating great content. I know that people like to consume it on the channels that they like to consume it on. And I'm a big believer that people that know and get Snapchat are going to want to consume it in that way because it's the most relevant, it's the most time sensitive, and it just makes the most sense. And then there's just people that, because Snapchat's such in its infancy with the story side of this thing, and people really associate Snapchat with teenage girls sending messages that disappear, that I think this could be a big education opportunity of saying, hey, like, you can go check out like my last 5 or 10 Snapchats on my YouTube channel. And if you like them, then you're going to want to subscribe on Snapchat because that's the way you're going to want to consume them because that's the best way to consume them. And I kind of think that could be the way that I look at it. But just like you, Joel, I'm still figuring this out. I haven't implemented it yet, but I think that's the attitude that I'm going to have.
Well, so I've uploaded a couple stories to Snapchat so far. An entire, like I did my Groundhog Day story, which was one of my more popular ones.
That's so good.
And another one that I think was one of my tutorials. I think I'm going to do a weekly upload on Facebook to one of my stories from the week. So that kind of gives you a taste. Yeah. Like, here's what you missed. Like that. But guess what? There are 6 other days in the week. I don't know. Aaron, what do you think?
I agree. You do good stuff, Joel. So obviously, as your shirt says.
I got to get one of these into your hands, Johnny.
Yeah, I'd be wearing it right now if it was.
What size? What do you wear? Medium, large?
I'm a medium.
Medium. You're a medium. All right, I'll get your Addy, and you're going to get a.
Once I get my Puerto Rican trainer, though, Juanito, working with me every day, then I might be up to a large. We'll say.
So Magic Brad asks, how do you use Snapchat for attracting local, in particular, he's in Minneapolis, followers in a specific niche, event planning. So he's like, he's geofenced himself down to a city and then a small subset in a niche. And I don't know that I have an answer for that. What do you think?
Yeah, my answer is like one thing that's amazing about Snapchat is you got to go out and get your followers. Like they're not just going to naturally come to you unless you're someone like DJ Khaled or Gary Vaynerchuk who are just everywhere, getting getting these followers. You have to go out and earn your followers. You have to go out and claim your followers. So if you're looking to get local followers, you got to go out to the, to the local meetings, to the hubs, to the meetups, to the tweet ups, to whatever are in your area that makes sense. And that's your opening. Like that's your business card. It's like, hey, follow me on Snapchat. Like this is how you do it. Or, take people's phone from them and show them how to do it right there. Like that's how you're going to do it. It's a grassroots operation, which again, I think is powerful because people aren't going to go on to Instagram and just be rifling through hundreds of photos and be like, oh, that photo's cute, ... And like, you're like, oh, I got a like. Like an Instagram like means nothing. They might have even been thinking about it. But a view on your Snapchat story means that someone purposefully typed in your name, pressed play, and watched that. And yeah, they might be skipping through every now and then, but they're skipping through your story that they chose. So that's the opportunity right there, grassroots.
Santos, who is the real deal, Bruno Real Deal, says, do you think Snapchat is turning itself like Vine, but with more features?
I've never used Vine. It's something that just completely passed my boat because, again, I was spending my time and bandwidth on other areas, and I knew of Vine, of course, but you can only do so much as entrepreneurs, so I can't speak of much here. But Aaron, what about yourself? Are you a Viner?
I agree. No, I have Vine downloaded on my phone, but I probably have, I don't know, thousands of notifications that I've never even looked at. It's just, I never interested me.
I never hear people talking about Vine either, but again, I'm not listening for it. But I never hear people talking about it. And like, for instance, I subscribe to a newsletter called Pod to Pod, and today's subject line of that was, pod to pod. And then it was in parentheses, the Snapchatter story. And I'm seeing Snapchat everywhere now. Now, of course, it's like when you buy a Mazda, you see a Mazda everywhere when before you didn't even know the car existed. But the reality is I'm hearing Snapchat everywhere. I was actually on my balcony a couple of days ago recording a Snapchat, and I overlooked this kind of like patio, but 4 stories up, and somebody yelled up, hey, are you recording a Snapchat? And I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? They're just like, oh, we just assumed you were doing a Snapchat because you were talking like this. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool right there. So I think it's pretty top of mind for a lot of like social media responsible people in this day and age. Brian, we're going to be hanging out in New York City pretty soon, brother.
Yes, we are. I'm already here. I beat you here.
What? Do you live in New York City?
No, I live in Boston.
Oh, but are you in an Airbnb right now?
At a family member's house.
Okay, cool. Where in New York City?
Queens.
All right. I'm going to be in the Upper West Side.
Sweet.
I fly out 8 p.m. tonight to New York City. So I get there tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
We'll both be rocking PC gear.
Yeah. Are you an alumni?
No, remember I went to Bentley. I met you at Camp GLP a couple years ago, but my brother went to PC.
That's right. You're the soccer player, right?
Exactly.
Killer. I remember that. See, this is a guy, people, that went to Camp GLP, and he had a blast. But I remember playing soccer with you on the field, and you said, hey, if someone was going to tell me a week ago that I was going to be kicking the soccer ball around with JLD, I would have thought they were crazy. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. I mean, almost word for word, I said that. And now you are featured in my book. You've inspired me to do so many things. So
wait, show your book. Let's see what you got there.
Called Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur.
Hold it up. What you really need to know, go lift it up so I can see the subtitle, to start your first business. Yeah. Hey, listen, when you got screen time, okay, here's a marketing tip. Here's a value bomb for all y'all, is when there's an open seat and you have an opportunity to come in and ask a question or share your opinion, it's you're in front of people, you're in front of influencers, you're in front of people who do this regularly. Take it. And when you've got a book, hold it up. Show people your book. Don't be afraid to self-promote.
One more time, Joel.
Entrepreneur to entrepreneur. Freedom Journal. Hang on.
Oh, here he goes.
I need to get a book.
Yeah, you do, girl.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
I know.
There you go.
Twitter power.
So for those, some people are asking about tutorials for Snapchat, and I do post some of them, but also here's the link in the chat room for you guys to go to livevideorevolution.com/fire, and you can watch a 20-minute tutorial where I inducted John Lee Dumas into the realm of the Snapchats, and now he's running crazy with it. He's got more people following, and first
it's close. We're pretty close though. We're like right on point.
Yeah. So, and I'm not afraid to share the numbers either. I'm good with that. If you are, would you? How do you feel about it? Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm getting. I think yesterday I passed about 700 views to my snaps, and Johnny passed 800. You broke through that, and here's what's amazing to me is the number of people. Or let's look at these numbers. I've got about 2,500 people that I'm following and are following me back. The stats are that approximately 50% of Snapchat users use Snapchat every day. Okay. So that is, let's say 1,250 people that have the opportunity to see my snaps within that 24-hour period. If 700 of those 1,250 are watching my snaps, that's 56% engagement. Boom! Let that sink in right there. 56.
And let me define Snapchat engagement. Again, I've said this a few times, but I want you guys to understand that if I want to view Joel's story, I'm going to search, I'm typing in Joel, and then I'm clicking on his story. So that is the engagement. That's like someone saying, I'm going to go listen to EO Fire today, going and clicking play because they are intentionally doing just that. So I really want you guys to absorb like what Joel's saying, because that is powerful. And
it's not Twitter. It's not Twitter where they say, well, you had 5 impressions, which means that somebody somewhere might have scrolled right by your tweet and never seen it. That's just the opportunity to have seen it. Snapchat engagements are people actually viewing, or at least rapid fire clicking through what you're doing, which I suppose happens. Hey, Brian, did you have a question, or did you want to say?
So
hey?
Especially speaking of books, I'm sure you guys saw Gary Vee's book came out today, and he's been snapping like crazy, doing a free book giveaway. So my question for you guys is, what's the best way to get engagement based on a giveaway? He's telling people to post their snaps to Instagram. I don't use Instagram, so what's the best way to do that?
You want to take this first, Joe? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was only half listening, honestly. I was responding to a text at the same time. So
I mean, honestly, when it comes to Snapchat, like Gary's somebody that I study, and I think that he is definitely a leading cutting edge on this. I mean, I'm still like a month and a half in right now, which is why I'm thrilled that I'm, probably getting close to over 900 views per story right now, or, per snap, which I think is awesome. And I'm looking forward to continuing to grow that. So that sounds like a really good method, even though you did say that you don't personally use Instagram. I did something the other day where I was in the movie called Inspired by 11. It was a documentary where they interviewed 11 entrepreneurs, Pat Flynn, Vince Reed, myself, and like 8 other really successful entrepreneurs over the past few years. And it was a killer documentary. And I didn't even really think about it, but it was like up in Encinitas. I just had a snap like 2 hours before I went there. I'm like, hey guys, heading up to Encinitas for this Inspired by 11 documentary. If anybody wants to go, just, Google Inspired by 11 Encinitas, and you can show up and, you can check out the documentary. It was in this really killer old theater in Encinitas, which is like 25 minutes north of where I'm at. And 4 people showed up from that. I mean, just like within 2 hours, like it was a Sunday night, like 4 people that I know of, because there was 250 people in the audience, but 4 people came up to me and was like, I'm here because of that snap. I was like, that's unbelievable. Like that kind of response, again, the locale and the 2 hour, within 2 hours, and they were there. So I just think like giving calls to action works within Snapchat, like dropping links, if it's to a sales page, if it's to a splash page, like I have something where for the Freedom Journal, I'm like, you can text the word journal to 33444, and that will opt them into my email list. So I just put that in there. So I verbally say it, then I use the text to say it. So I think you can get inventive on all of those things. But when it comes to contests, something that I haven't actually done, run, or thought that much about. But, I think there's a lot of opportunities with it for sure.
There's no limits. That's the thing. Basically, Snapchat has given us the sandbox and said, go play in it. And they give us some of these filters and they kind of go through them, but it really comes down to the creativity. Like the low hanging fruit is just to use the filters and just make funny faces, right? But when you actually take the time to think through, okay, I'm going to teach something today, as you do, Johnny Lee, or I'm going to tell a story and I want to make people laugh, right? There's a purpose, there's an intention to it. And like writing a book, you don't know all the words ahead of time. You know where you want to go with it. But especially if you're writing fiction, that story as the author can take you places you had no idea you were going to go. And that's the way I approach Snapchat. When I don't stop and think, for example, today I'm on your account and I didn't try to plan, well, here's what I'm going to do at Johnny Lee's account tomorrow. I woke up and I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I went and walked on the treadmill and boom, it came to me. And the moment it comes to me, this is what it looks like. Like that. I just get this grin. And then I begin to let the story unfold itself one snap at a time and see where it goes. And so for me, it's that creative process is a very much in the moment thing. How do you feel about it?
Is that to me?
Yes, sir.
So it's very much in the moment. I mean, I'm in the shower, I'm walking on the bay, I'm doing X, Y, or Z. And like, I just kind of have these things of like, man, like this is really bugging me, or this is really inspiring me, or this is something that I'm seeing trending. And like, I just want to talk about it. And I love Snapchat. It gives me, number one, that outlet to talk about it. And I have like a little thing on my workflowy, which is like a to-do app. That's just titled Snap Rants. And then I just have, below it bullet points that I can collapse so it doesn't take up any room. And I just kind of, whenever I have an idea throughout the day, like I'll just list out different like future Snap rants that I want to get into, like consuming versus producing, or standing on the shoulders of giants compared to just copying and mimicking people, which is what I was doing today on Joel's rant a little bit. Because I was like, hey guys, like you've been following Joel for a reason. Like he's a really cool, quirky, funny, inspiring person. You're not going to get the same stuff from me today on his channel because I'm not going to try to be a pretender. I'm not Joel. Like I don't come up with those ideas and like I don't thrive in them. And I'm not going to give you some fake rendition of that. I'm going to do what I do best, which is give you a rant, talk about a topic, like get into details, and then we'll have some fun because there's some really cool opportunities where I can do some video overlays, do X, Y, and Z, and really get into like some entertaining sides of JLD and just like do that. So I have like some speed ups and some slowdowns and some dog faces and whatever it is. What was the question again?
I don't remember.
No, but I think I did a good job answering it.
I'm sure the answer was perfect. Hey, Brian, thanks for popping in.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks, guys.
That. I want to
drop. Hey, real quick, Brian. I know you're going to be able to hear this even after you get out, but we're going to be doing either Mustang Harry's or Jack Dempsey's before the game on Thursday. So one of the two places.
Sweet. I will see you there. I'll snap you ahead of time.
Peace.
See you guys.
See you, Brian. Good to see you. And Blackout's got a question here. He says, what if you have a snap in story mode that's very relevant to certain people who might miss it? There it goes. Poof. It's gone.
That's the beauty of a Snapchat, is that it makes people feel like this is urgent. That this is a story that, if they want to see what Joel did today, they got to check it out today. Like it's got to happen. That's the urgency that's built in with the Snapchat that I love. And if, again, you really feel that way, then you can do that, upload to, download the story, upload it to YouTube and just keep it there. And you can link to it or whatever you want to do. If you feel like it's relevant. And again, if you think it's relevant to certain people, then you can hit that little arrow in the bottom right, this like flashing, it's like an arrow going this way. You click on that, you can add it to your story, but then you can also select as many people as you want to that will add it to your story, but then also send individual snaps to people, which they're very unlikely to miss an individual snap if they know anything about Snapchat. So that's a very tried and true method.
And here
do you feel like that's somewhat unpersonal?
Well, if he said that like he feels like certain people should be seeing it, then I feel like those certain people could get those stories in that manner. Again, if I get one of those messages that's not directed to me and I'm like going through and I'm ripping through these snaps and like they're all personal, which I want. And I'm responding to all of them, by the way. And then I get to one that's not personal and is not relevant to me. That person is blocked. Again, I go the hard route there. They're blocked. And I've had now 2 people of probably 40 people that I've blocked have come back and said, JLD, what's up? I can't see your story anymore. And I do explain to them why. And I bring them back in. It's very easy to unblock them. And they haven't made the same mistake twice.
You are the band hammer.
Boom. You get one unfocused or unpersonalized snap to me. You're out.
Dang.
What happens when you get to the point that you can't respond personally to everybody?
You know, Aaron, I knew you were more than just eye candy. Like, that is a great question. So when you get to the point where you can't respond to everybody personally, which I'm sure Gary's there, I know I'm not there because I respond to everybody personally every day. I probably get 30 to 50 personal snaps a day at this point. But again, the way Snapchat is set up, it's pretty easy. I kind of just give a pound fire. That's kind of my response. When people are like, hey, John, loving the snaps, pound fire. Like, that's just my thing. So I can rip through them pretty quick.
Yeah, I think I've received a few of those.
Have you received a couple of those? That's kind of how I roll. You probably got a couple extra fires because I'm like, oh, she's cute too. Pound, fire. But
cool.
But no,
go ahead.
What I was going to say for serious though, it's like it makes it pretty easy. One thing I do have to complain about with Snapchat this isn't unfortunately the best forum to do so because I'm sure they won't watch this, but I don't like how when you respond to a message, it pops you up to the top and then I got to scroll back down to the last unread message. That's kind of annoying. I wish that when I sent a message, it just brought me right back to where the rest of the unread messages are. So I think that's an interface problem on their end that I hope they get other complaints about because it makes it less user-friendly.
Well, Aaron, you are more than eye candy. So thanks for popping in today. It was good to see you, and thanks for your questions. And we're going to wrap up here in a few, but I want to point out to those who are wondering, how do you get more people following you and engaging with you on Snapchat? Watch the people that have engagement. See what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying copy it, but I am saying make observations about how they are using Snapchat and then make it your own. Find the part that fits for you personally. You know, Johnny just said he doesn't want to tell the types of stories I do, and I don't drop necessarily the type of knowledge that he does, and we're all so different. So by just being the most unique you, the most important part is that you are bringing value. If you're just sharing, you know, okay, I'm going to the store and oh, there's my dog and making dinner, that's going to get old pretty quick. It doesn't give people a reason to come back for more. So it's the mystery about not knowing what you're going to get from that person that day and knowing that no matter what it is, when you tune in, you're not going to be disappointed. I don't know. John, any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that you just nailed it. I think that was a good way to close it out. You know, again, and that's the rant I gave on your site today, on your Snap today. I said, hey guys, like we all learn from those who come before us and never be ashamed of that. But you have to find your unique voice as soon as possible. It might not come immediately. Like it took me 400 episodes before I found my voice. Hopefully it doesn't take you that long. It shouldn't. Again, I was a complete rookie. I had never done anything in this world before. So that's why it took me a while to kind of get my sea legs, so to speak. But just find that unique voice, find what works for you, try out a couple things, whatever's fun is fun. Like Aaron, what do you do on Snapchat that you think's of value? Not to put you on the spot or anything.
No, put her on the spot. I think that's awesome.
I don't feel like I've been on it long enough to have like I don't have like what Joel tells his stories. You have your rant. I feel like I'm the person that's taking pictures of my dog.
Okay.
And my.
I
know. I need to do better.
You're new to it still, and that's fine. And you'll get there, and this will hopefully inspire you.
Yeah, and honestly, your dog, by the way, like could potentially have a very relevant part of your story, but it should only be a part of your story. It shouldn't be the story. Like there's a great, like Amy Schmittauer, you know, she works her dog in a great way. And I don't follow her like religiously, so I don't watch, but the ones that I've seen, like she just works in this part of the day. Like she's working hard and she's showing it. And then like she shows her dog that's just like, you know, chewing on a bone with peanut butter. She's like, ain't that the life? And you're like, yes, that is the life. Like, hello. So there's ways to work that in, Aaron. And I wouldn't not, you know, show your personal life. I think that's a huge value part of what Snapchat is. But people got to be leaving your story and be like, oh, like, yes, like that was time well spent.
I agree.
Me too. I saw a video a few weeks on Facebook, and this will be my last story, and we'll close it out. And so, Aaron, I'm going to let you go as we finish up. I'm going to lock down the seats.
I was going to say, people are asking about who to follow. You should put in the Snapchat article. I was trying to find it.
Very good. I will. If you can find it, can you go ahead and link it in there?
Yep.
Follow John Lee Dumas and Joel Comm and
me.
Block everybody else.
I'll do better.
Block everybody else.
You give Erin 3 or 4 days, and if she doesn't come around, then you can drop her.
Then you can block me,
but give her a chance.
So I've got 2 articles I'm going to link to
Bye,
you right
John.
there.
Bye, Aaron.
Aaron, thanks.
Bye, Joel.
There's one article that I linked to you,
Found it.
and then this one that ran on hotblogtips.com yesterday gives more whys and whos. So those 2 articles I linked right there. You'll want to check in to those 2, and you'll find some more people to follow. I had one more thing I was going to say. And,
yeah, well, I'll tell you, our numbers keep going up, which is abnormal. Like we're over 60 live people now.
Yeah.
We're dynamic.
It's all the movement, yo. I wish we could pull off. I wonder if it would be possible to pull off the Snapchat 2-face filter here on Blab.
Wow.
Like if we could actually, let me.
I've seen some people do that very well. Like if you go to Snapchat, and while you're trying to figure that out, Joel, let me know when you're ready. But if you go and you follow, you do one of the ones that's Meet Team USA. That's a killer one. So go watch the Meet Team USA, the Olympics. They have like a whole snap. It's really cool. You get to know them. Again, another reason why I love Snapchat. And the 2 of the gymnasts, Gabby and somebody else, do a face swap, and it's hysterical. Like they really nailed the face swap.
Move in to the camera.
You got to speak loudly too because your mic's away and I can't hear you that well.
Okay, move to your right. A little bit more. Hold it right there. I'm not sure what's happening here, but I don't think it's working right. It's not pretty. It's like it's not even like fail.
It ain't pretty.
That I'm not even going to post it. John Lee Dumas.
Boom.
Thanks, man. Thanks for joining us, and everybody else. Thanks for coming in here today. If you have not ordered your Freedom Journal yet, hold that up, Johnny. There it is, freedomjournal.com.
Did I have that too at the ready, by the way? Like as soon as you said it, I was like, bloom.
Of course you did. Of course you did. You're a pro. And everyone on Old Man Facebook keeps telling me Snapchat is dead. Clearly it's not, Brian Fanzo. It's not. And you know what? If people want to think it's not for them, it's fine. It's not for everybody. But you know who it is for? It's for me, and it's for this guy.
Me.
And so Entrepreneur on Fire is the podcast, episode number, 1,300 and something now?
Yeah, I'm up to 1,300. I'm over 1,300 recorded. I think today's episode live was 1,242.
Oh my gosh.
Like that.
Absolutely crazy.
I'm recorded into the 1,300s. But guys, no, it's been a blast hanging out today. I mean, we're still at 62 people live, which is phenomenal. I mean, to see Blab numbers grow over the course of an hour, you know you're doing something right. And of course, when you're hanging out with Joel, you're doing something right. Def. But yeah, guys, I have a great podcast, EO Fire. Would love for you to check it out. The episode I did with Joel about Snapchat was value bombs. Alicious. And the Kickstarter campaign is over, but you can grab your Freedom Journal at thefreedomjournal.com. Joel has his own copy. I actually sent you a little gift, Joel, in the mail the other day. You'll be receiving shortly. But guys, a portion of every sale is going to Pencils of Promise to build a school in the developing country. We've already built 3 schools together. And so give yourself the gift of accomplishing your number one goal in 100 days. Maybe that's 1,000 Snapchat views per story. That'd be a good goal for sure. Because I'll tell you, with 1,000 Snapchat views per story, you have a business. I'm just saying, period. And
who was it that said you need 1,000 raving fans?
Kevin something. You can Kevin Crane. Did someone
just type in 1,000 raving fans, and the premise is that when you have 1,000 people that will follow whatever you do, wherever you go, you have a tribe that builds
a
momentum.
6-figure tribe. Absolutely.
Kevin Kelly. There it is. Hey, dude.
Oh, Mike, thank you. Saying, dude, that journal is killer. And just to kind of finish what I was saying, you're also giving the gift of education to those less fortunate. Yes.
Which is perfect. So for those of you not in the know, at John Lee Dumas, at Joel Comm, there's a snap swap happening today. Those of you listening to the replay, too late. You missed it, which is why you want to be on Snapchat and not miss a single episode. Tonight, must-see Blab TV, Blab Talk Live at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. It is the mystery show. Vincenzo Landino is out. Who knows what he's doing, but he's gone tonight. My co-host will be person that you named a little earlier, John Lee. It is Amy Schmitty-Schmidt,
no
Schmidt-Pants, Schmidt-Tower.
Wow. I might try to call in via mobile because I think I'll be at the airport.
Yeah. We'll be on from 10 to 11:30 Eastern Time, and it's called The Mystery Show. And the reason it's called the Mystery Edition of Blab Talk Live is because it's a mystery what we're going to talk about. We have no idea, but it's going to be fun. Followed immediately by the Bodenweiser und Himmelblau Hour. So it is an evening of fun, frivolity, and shenanigans. Again, just look up blab.im/Joel Comm. Last question, Johnny. Are you scheduling your own shows here on Blab?
No.
Why not? I mean, it seems like a perfect platform.
Yeah, I love this medium. It's something I need to do for sure. The only thing I can say is my bandwidth has been tapped with the Freedom Journal launch and then turning it into an actual Amazon/thefreedomjournal.com Shopify store. So that's going to happen. I mean, I love this medium. I'm just going to ride your coattails, Joel. Just whenever you have a show, I'm coming on.
It's a Joel Comm show. We'll catch you guys next time. Do good stuff.
Peace.